Hello everyone, this is Maria from mariascraftingcorner.com, and I am really excited that you guys are here with me today. This is a pre-recorded video. I really want to be able to upload a pre-recorded video. I was thinking, like I said, probably twice a month or something along those lines. I guess this is as much as time allows. In the end, I have a regular job, and so I don't have a whole lot of time to do extra videos. I really think, and I said it before, there's so many cards to make and so little time, right? And so I'm thinking that making these videos in advance will allow me to every so often pop up something new in the YouTube channel for you guys to enjoy. And if you don't know, I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and if you are interested in one of our catalogs, please send me an email to mariascraftingcorner.com. I will gladly send to you any of the catalogs we have right now. Right now we have 3 catalogs. We have the annual catalog and the mini catalog, which runs all the way to January 4th, I want to say, and our celebration catalog, which is an offer that Stampin' Up makes twice a year, and for your $50 or $100 purchase, they will give you free product. So and that offer will run all the way to August 31st, so you really don't want to miss it. Again, send me an email and I will gladly send these to you. Okay, now let's go back. Let's go, not back, but let's go to the stamping table. Okay, here we go, and let me remove that. It's my email. We are going to work today with a bundle that was part of our mini catalog last year, and it made it into this mini catalog. And I have to say, it was probably one of my favorite bundles when I saw it last year. I became a Stampin' Up demonstrator last year in September, so I just joined for when the mini catalog was out, and it's one of those that really useful and lovely. Stampin' Up, I don't know if there's other companies that do the same. I'm bringing it up here, but they do have something I love, and that is they create bundles that include a embossing folder. This one includes all these dies, but this die will actually cut this embossing, this piece here, more or less. And this one even also have an extra bigger piece that you can cut to put the leftover cut out here, somewhere along those lines. Okay, I absolutely love that they have so much creativity and allows you to make wonderful and very professional cards with a whole lot of effort. And so this is the one we're going to be using. What I want to do really today is to show you. As you can tell, I've used it a lot through the years. It's probably through last year and this year, I've used it quite a bit. And I like about this bundle a couple of things. One is that in spite of the fact that this is fairly Christmassy, let me turn it around. Some of the Christmas leaves and whatnot, more related to winter or Christmas. I think you're able to utilize this at a no Christmas setting. And so that's what I want to try to do today. We're going to work in creating a Thanksgiving card using this bundle, not using up the flowers, the poinsettias. We will be using as well it's called Hello Harvest, and this beautiful bundle is also in our new mini catalog. And we are going to be using from the Cheerful basket, just this wooden basket here. I couldn't help it, but I needed a basket somewhere. So this one also brings, as you can tell, the stamp set and the dies, and I love that they make these specific dies to kind of create the basket without stamping and other things. So bottom line, I absolutely love a thing I really like about Stampin' Up, and it is that and I'm going to open this again, their dies are usually, they have a whole lot more than just what is needed for the stamp set, and I do appreciate that. Okay, so these are the 3 things we're going to be using, but we're going to be focusing a little bit on the merriest moments. I want you guys to know that I will have everything linked to my blog, where you will find all the dimensions and even a PDF tutorial if it's needed. This is not a very complicated card on itself, but I will most likely make a PDF tutorial there, and so you can just get all those measurements and all that information later on. That way you kind of focus on what we're doing and just enjoy the video. I have been doing this just because it seems a little bit easier for me. I don't know about that, but so we are going to start with, this is an all color cardstock, and this is not the colors we're going to be using for our card. I'm just going to be using this to make the template for you, so you know what's going on. This card is very simple, but it does have a beautiful outcome to it. What we're going to do is we're going to cut these in half, not cut, we're going to score in half, and we're going to score in half. So the score of this longer side is 5.5, and so I'm going to score that. And then we're going to score on the other side, and that half is 4.25. And as you can tell, maybe you can't see, but I'm going to bring it up here. I have my marks here just to make it easier on myself, and I don't see why that would be bad. So if you need some assistance with those measurements, don't hesitate to mark your trimmer, right? It makes a lot of sense. So here's our cardstock already scored. What we're going to build is a card that will open like it I'm trying to figure it out. So you will open these like a regular card, but it will have these pieces on top. And I'm not explaining that very well, but what I'm trying to say is I need to cut these off, this piece off. If you want the card to open on the top instead of the back, and I'll explain that, you will need to cut this one. But I want it to open down, so I need to cut this piece. And so I'm going to move this here. And actually, just for your sake, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a pen here, and I'm going to put a big X. And so you guys know that that X is there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back again at the 4.25. And we are going to cut all the way to that score line. So to this middle. And then we're going to go ahead and turn around. Place these at 5.5 and go ahead and score again. Okay, and these you may be able to use later, and this is basically the card. Now I have found out that when you fold this piece, you're going to get a little bit of, like, it's going to be too tight when you close, and it's going to look busy. So I decided that I want to take a 16th of this panel, and so the 16th panel is right here where this brown line ends, and so I'm gonna just place it there and then cut all the way to the score line again. If you cut a 4th, which is easier to see because it's this one here, I feel it's just too much of a gap. I think a 16th really works well. And this is the card. So we are going to fold and bring our bone folder real quick. And here we go. And so this is our card. You're going to have this open here, and then you'll decorate this piece and then these two areas. What I like about this card, of course you can make this in different ways. I love making this with a window. I did one last year for one of my families for my family for Thanksgiving, and that looked really cute. And I actually used the Merriest Moments. We're just going to use some different colors. So this is the basic template. And again, I'll make sure to create some sort of template for you to be able to download and look into. Okay, so let's put these aside. I am going to be working, and let me bring them because I forgot the name already. The name is Lights Aglow. This designer series paper is absolutely stunning. I am in love with it. But this paper really is to die for. It has so many beautiful options. It comes, I think is, let me not lie to you, soft socket and very vanilla, evening green, cherry cobbler, and basic black. So you will have variations of those. Look at this. This is gorgeous. And what you'll have is exactly the same. So you'll have one in bare vanilla that has the dots, and then in the back it has these, just wonderful to play with. Then you'll have this one, and this one will come in all the other colors I mentioned, and so forth. Okay, this one that has all these beautiful stars. Let me see. There's a couple of other ones, but bottom line, this is what you're going to get. And like I said, I absolutely love this paper. It's up my alley. I love golds, and these darker colors with very vanilla look so elegant. So I already have my pieces cut. Like I mentioned, I will have all those measurements later on and link to my blog. These I am using for my card Evening Green, and this is just a regular 11.5 by 8.5. And like I mentioned, it's a scored in half both sides, and we just take this side, and this is how it looks. Now we are going to start with our guest of honor, the Merriest Moments bundle. We're going to go ahead and emboss this piece. And yes, we're going to do the embossing while we're here in our in the video. I'm just aligning this well. Let me bring my embossing machine. Our embossing machine is really awesome. It brings an explanation of what you need to do and which plates you need to use. So this one we don't need for this embossing folder. We'll just put our regular plastic plates in here and this one there, and we'll run it through. And you can tell it's not easy, or maybe this is actually a 3D one. Let me make sure I'm not lying to you. Let's see. Sometimes with thicker embossing folders, we use our fourth plate, which I believe, which also comes with the embossing machine. So it's not like you have to get it extra. Okay, let's see. Ooh, isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. And like I said, I really love that how it looks in the very vanilla color. Okay, let me move this out of the way. This piece we're going to trim a little bit so it fits on our A4 card, but I'm going to cut the middle, and that's how we're going to create our little window. And I am going to use the same die cuts here, and I am actually going to die cut it all together right now. And for this more complex die cutting, let me bring this back out. I don't know why I'm going all the way. I'm so funny sometimes. For this one, we are going to need our Post-it tape. A little bit of camera there. I'm going to bring a bigger piece that we're going to assign. So we're going to align this as best as we can in the middle, and I am going to bring a piece here that's going to go in there, and then we're going to bring this one, and this one actually you can follow like this and put it in there. So and you can even feel it because, okay, I'm a little bit off again. The embossing it has some height, so you can even feel exactly where it needs to go. So we have all these two aligned. I am going to now try to move that. Hopefully that stays there. And I'm going to put the top plate and move forward. Okay. So let's bring this up here. Let me move this to the side for a second and bring this back out here. So as you can tell, I also got these, and I'll have to unstuck it. You have this little piece that will be useful later on. I usually save those because those are great to put like sentiments and stuff. And this is how it's going to look. I'm just taking it off from, and I absolutely love how this looks on its own. So this piece is going to go in the front here, and we're going to remove this. Now, oops. I'm going to remove some of the little pieces that are still attached to it. Let me move this far away. And that one there and here. Okay, so there's a few other pieces, as you can tell. I'm taking them all off. There you go. Now isn't that such a beautiful piece? Now the next step I'm going to make, I'm going to bring a little bit of a piece of our gold paper, and I'm going to cut these to create that matting. So I am actually going to use my snips real quick to cut this like so, because it would not fit in the embossing machine as is. So I'm going to bring this up here, move this a little bit to top here, and that is wrong. We're going to move this one here. So one plate underneath and then one on the top. I don't know if you can see it, but this is a little bit off. Okay, and there we go. And I am demonstrating these just because I think these pieces are so beautiful. It's really worth the look in how to build these pieces. So we are going to have this piece that will come here, and we're going to have to cut the same window. And I am bringing this here, and what I am going to do actually is I'm going to put this in here already, and then we're going to cut it. So we just cut once, right? Makes sense? So we're going to put glue on the sides, not necessarily on the middle, because we're not going to need it on the middle. So I'm going to bring our glue. Let me make sure we have enough glue there. And so we are going to focus on the sides, on the edge, I guess is what I'm trying to say, of these gorgeous pieces. And I'm just putting a little bit around, a little bit more. We're going to turn it and making sure we're using the right spot, which this is, and we are placing this in the middle. Okay, and there you go. And now we're going to center this. What we're going to do is bring our beautiful white piece and center it, put it where it's going to go, and put this one in place. And then we're going to hold these with one finger or two fingers, however you want, and we're going to try to remove this softly so we don't damage it, but we are able to keep that piece where it's going to go, not need. And I don't know what I did with my little piece of course, but I'm going to bring a tiny piece of my, or another piece, oops, that's tough, of my Post-it tape, which I highly recommend if you, like me, do like using die cutting. It's very, very useful. So we're going to bring our beautiful machine again. I'm wheeling it back towards me because it's much easier for me to do that. And putting this back in here. Now this is going to be a little on the thick side, so we are going to have to do it a couple times, right? So just think that you're working on your arms exercise. Okay, so I would say run it 2-3 times to make sure that it really cut it. I don't have to go all the way because of course there's nothing else on the other side, and I'm sorry about that big loud noise, but that tells you that it went through, right? So let's see if that was enough. And it was. So let's move these out of the way. Really, I don't need I don't have to worry much about how it looks because this is going to go on top of it. Okay, so this is how our card in the front is going to look like. Now before we move any further, let me bring some. So yes, I save my used grid paper unless they are really crazy, which do happen, don't get me wrong. No, that's good. When you have some sort, like you don't want to get your layer, your underneath layer dirty, but you still have to do some of these. And I'm going to bring my crumb cake, which is not gold, but I really like it. So, and we're going to do very slowly some, just softly around some of the leaves, just softly. And I know for now it looks very Christmassy, but we'll put some other stuff in it and it's going to look beautiful. And that's what I'm going to do with that one. So I am going to work on the front first because I needed to guide me a little bit for the back. So might as well finish it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to glue this. Kind of what we did before, putting the glue all over in this, around the leaves and in the edges. And we're going to put this on top. If I use the right side, that will be better. Okay. So there we go. That's our front card. I am going to try to get this really glued in. So I'm going to get some extra glue where I see areas not sticking well, which is one of the reasons why I don't like glue very much, because it, you have to really wait a little bit, but then it allows us a lot of flexibility when we have more, when we need a little bit of wiggle room to work. Okay, I'm removing that because we don't need it. Okay, so let me show you what I have. So from the, oh my goodness, I forgot, Hello Harvest. And I don't know if I showed you this well. I'm just bringing all the pieces I have. I always cut tons of them and it's just fun. But from this one, and the dies bring already made pumpkins, and they even have that little like a little dimension to it, like rugged in there. So what I did, these are all my pieces. I cut them. This is in soft succulent. This one was in the very vanilla, and I have a little piece in gold. In all of these, I did color, as you can tell in the back, with the Stampin' blends, and I used the evening green and soft succulent for this one. And where I wanted extra white, I used just my sponge dauber and put some white around. It's not extremely noticeable, but I really like the effect of it. And then this very vanilla, I just used the I want to say the crumb take alcohol markers, and here's the golden piece. So this one kind of goes in the middle there. And so I am going to build a little scene here with these 3 pumpkins that are going to be on the other side. So when you open, you will have like you will be able to see here the greeting, but you'll have this decoration here. Okay. Now and so you see, I also colored this one, and I have been debating for a while if what I want is really to put this one in here, because that looks too convoluted, and put this one somewhere. So I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm liking this one a little bit better because it's just simpler. This is heat embossed in gold, and I just used the Stampin' blends to just color it. So we're going to get this one here. It does bring these, and I'm going to use this just probably around here where I think it's going to be a little bit more noticeable. So maybe around there, just to have some extra. And what we're going to do, let me bring that Hello Harvest also brings these leaves, and it's just an individual leaf. Let me show it to you. So this one I stamped in die cut, and this is what I was telling you. What we're going to do is we're going to include some of these around in here to create that feeling of more fallish, and we're just going to stick to these colors because this is the color that we will be using. These are a little on the bigger side, so I don't mind putting some of these here or even cutting them if it's needed. So I am going to put this one that is the lightest like underneath here, so that will go around here. So let's figure out where we want some of these. And as you can tell, some of these are really big and it will not look well. I'm trying to incorporate it within. Do you see this one is a little bit open? So I'm just going to try to put them in there. And that way you are making these a full frame. Okay. So we have one. Oh my God, I don't know why I'm struggling. If I have my take your pick, why do I always do this? It's just kind of into the funny, really annoying stuff. I'm going to make this one here. And like I said, doesn't really matter if it covers the rest. We're just making this as fallish as possible. Now, if you use full colors, it's obviously going to be a little bit easier. I just chose this because I love that paper. I have to be honest about that. And we're going to put this one on dimensionals in here. So let's see. I am going to bring my piece of dimensionals. I have said many times I don't waste anything here, so I'm just going to take this out and cut it. And these actually are very nice longer pieces that will hold this really well. Now, I may put it on the wrong side. As I was going to tell you, be mindful where you put it, then I realized I put it on the wrong side. So this one is going to go up here, right? So we need this piece on the below, but not on this side, because this is the side that's going to be up there. So I'm going to bring this one, like I said, this one's a little lighter, and I'm going to bring these two like this. So I'm going to glue this one initially here, and I'm still going to have a little bit of glue in here because this is going to show up there. And we're going to bring I'm going to bring this a tiny bit off there, and we're going to bring this in here. And so that is our front. We don't have to worry about it's very glary, I'm sorry, about the inside, because about a sentiment on the inside, because the sentiment is going to be showing through in here. So let's put that aside for a minute and let me show you the other pieces I have. All of these are an eighth smaller, and this is a regular A2 card. So bottom line, this one is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and this one is an eighth smaller, and this is part of our, oh my goodness, scallop contour rectangles. These are probably one of my favorite things to use. I just think that they are amazing. So if you see, this paper does all the talking if you want. It's just amazing. So I am going to glue this, put this one here, and we're going to put the big sentiment here. And it's not big. Now this sentiment, I do have to confess, it comes from from a set from last year. I did not have within the mini catalog for the Thanksgiving / fall theme. There was very little that said Thanksgiving, one stamp set, and I really thought, I was not sure I wanted to buy that stamp set, but I am using this one. This one is from last year's, and it just says gather together. Bottom line, whatever you have, you are able to use. And as a fairly new Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, when I got these, I was not sure how to really place the backings of the rubber stamps. So this one takes me a little bit, because obviously it's not well put, and so if I follow exactly what it says, it's going to be cricket. It happens. So I'm going to put my big head in front of your camera view, and I'm sorry about that. I'm aligning these as best as I can and putting this in the middle, which is where it's going to go, and that worked fairly okay. I am super excited. Okay, let's move that out of the way. So this is going to go in the middle here, and we're going to see this gather together. We're going to go in there. Now let me bring this like this. I am going to put some of these leaves in here as well. I'm still fighting using some of these leaves in here, just to create some interest in our card here. So let's go ahead and use our Stampin' Seal Plus, which is by far oh my goodness, okay, this is not working. It's my favorite tool to use in the lives, or in the videos, because although I really like the tear and tape, it does take some time to take off the backing. Okay, and I'm looking at the time, and I obviously am talking too much instead of focusing on getting this done. So let's focus. So I'm centering these as best as I can. As you can tell, there's probably about an inch or so in this. And we're going to go ahead and do the same on this side. And go ahead and do this. This is just an eighth, so it's a pretty tiny margin that you have, but it just looks really cute. I really like, so I'm going to tell you why. I really like the green and gold color combination. I just love it. And we are going to move these, and oh my gosh, did I mention it's not working with me? And we're going to open this. I always say open it, figure out which is the right way. So we know this is this is the upside, so we are going to open this up here and make sure that this goes fine. This is again an eighth of an inch, so there's a very slow margin, and that's where it's going to go. So we're going to close it, and this is going to look like that. Didn't work. It needed to be a little higher. So no freaking out. We're going to use our take your pick to remove that. Okay, so we remove one side. your take your pick is probably your most useful tool. So instead of making that mistake twice, let's figure out where it needs to go. And it needs to go pretty high up. And that is fine because we're going to put some decorations in here. Okay, now it looks good. Well, that had to happen, right? So we're going to put some of these leaves, and I'm just going to put them in here and put some of these extra golden, I don't know how they're called, to be fully honest with you. And that's going to make it just cute enough to disguise our mistake. Okay, we have one. And I'm going for the center as best as I can. And there you go. And I'm going to bring this one. And for this one, I am going to use these glue dispenser. It's probably one of my favorites. It has such a tiny opening that it's great for some of these. I do have an old pin that I keep here because it's very thin and it will go through that that little dispenser. And so we're just going to put a little bit. As you can tell, it just makes tiny dots, and that way you know that it's not going to go crazy and all over. So I'm going to put that one there, and that came off with my hand because why not? Okay, there. And I'm going to bring the other one, and I may put this one right here, maybe underneath that one. So let's put some glue. Okay, some extra glue, and I'm going to use my take your pick and open this a tiny bit so I can put this underneath. Okay, that's how it looks. Okay, this one's a little bit rebellious, but that looks good too. So that's how this side is going to look. We're going to have that. You're going to have that look in there, and it looks just perfect from the outside. Now we're going to work on these two panels. Let's put that back in there. I'm going to close it right away, clean it a little bit and close it right away so it doesn't dry. But if you're interested in this one, in this container, I have a link down below, and it's in my Amazon shop. That is something that Stampin' Up! Does not sell on its own, so it's a good thing to use. Now I have here the other three pieces I'm going to use. So I want this one to go in here like this, and then I want this one to go in here like this. And they are all layered in gold, just because that gold looks gorgeous, I think. We are going to align this here, and I'm going to put, let's see, again, very small margin. So be mindful of that. We're centering as best as we can. And then we're going to bring this one. This one is, so these are the same measurements as before. This is the only one that's a little bit smaller, and it is 3.5 by 4.5. Because that way we can see a little bit of that beautiful paper in the back, right? That paper is just gorgeous. So I am going to glue these, because this piece, I am not going to stamp anything. I'll show you here in a minute what I did. So I'm centering this as best as I can. I think that's centered enough. And I am bringing the other pieces I told you. So I colored these piece, which is from the cheerful basket I mentioned earlier, and I cut it. I initially was going to do something else, but then I had this card in mind, and so I'm going to just put these in here, and I am going to bring these. I think this looks gorgeous. It's hard to see. It's heat embossed in gold, and I use the soft succulent and evening green alcohol markers to color them inside, and I think it just creates such a beautiful look. Of course, this piece is going to be a super huge, beautiful surprise when you open the rest of your card. And I'm going to put it a little bit on the lower end. Centered as best as I can. And I am putting it there so if somebody wants to write something on the sides, they can. And this is going to go just on top. We're using glue because, kind of what I was saying before, we're going to need a little bit of wiggle room to place this exactly where we want it. Okay, and I want this one to be on this panel because I think it just, when you open it, it's going to be striking right there. I'm going to push this a little bit, and while I push, I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus. And we're going to center this again. Again, it's an 1/8 smaller, so a very little margin, just enough to hint the color behind. And then we have this last panel, and I think this is one of those where you can just leave, let it be like it is. We can try to add our pumpkins, but I think we'll need a little bit of white in there, right? So maybe we're just going to let it be as is. This paper on its own is far too beautiful, so I think it's worth it. Now, there is not a whole lot of area for you to like send the card and write on the card. And there's a reason, and I know, so my reason for it is my handwriting is really awful. And so I rarely ever write on my cards because my handwriting is just not cool. So technically, most of the time, if I send a card with a big note, I will type it and print it and attach it. I will sign the card, of course, and do all that, but it's just one of those things where, what can you do? So that's the thing. Now, you can just add a smaller piece in here and be able to do that. And you will be able to actually write something else if you have better handwriting. But this is our card. So what do you guys think? Isn't that super beautiful? And again, we're using these more of a Christmas bundle, and we're turning it into a fall bundle. Let me show you the one I made last year. Here is the one I made last year using this same one. I just used my blending brushes to create these, these colorful areas. I did not even add anything that was fall related. And of course, this is using the bundle from last year, but look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? But you can see that if you just color this in fall colors, it will turn perfectly into a fall card. So this is very useful, the Merriest Moments, for other occasions. I even think that if you cut some tulips and put them on the side with some other greenery, you'll make this a spring card. No matter what. I think that this is gorgeous. I hope you enjoyed the video and the card. Please let me know what you think of it. We will be using this again for another card, for a Christmas card, because that's what it is. And like I said, that Merriest Moments has a ton of dies that are really, really useful just in general. I really appreciate, let me move back up here first. I really appreciate you guys being here with me today. I hope you like the card. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. You know how much it helps us here in YouTube. And if you like the general content of the channel, do subscribe and hit the notification bell so you will be able to know when I am actually uploading a video or I am live. I am live every Tuesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, and I upload a paper pumpkin alternative video on Thursdays, usually around 2. But sometimes it gets a little bit earlier or sometimes a little bit later, but it's definitely Thursday. And if you would like to receive some of my newsletter, do go ahead and visit my website, and that's mariascraftingcorner.com. You can check in there the rewards. I have a really, really nice reward system where you can get free product for your $50 purchase before shipping and handling, and that changes monthly. So I'm going to send here, that's my host code for July. I will be changing it at the beginning of August, but that if you put that in your order, then I know that you're interested in getting all those freebies. So for example, right now, if you go and buy something from my online store, I really, really seriously suggest you get the Maria's Moments bundle. It's very beautiful and useful. Or the Hello Harvest, or maybe the Cheerful Basket. What about the beautiful papers I showed you earlier? They are called, like I mentioned, I forget the name. They are called Lights Aglow. If you buy any of that and your purchase gets up to $50, you will get free product from Celebration, and you will get free product from me. Now, if the total amount of your purchase is $150 or more, don't use that host code because Stampin'Up will give you rewards and you will be able to get your own free product. But you will be able to get your free product from Celebration and my gift for your $50 order. So really, really good rewards. Do really, check them out. Again, mariascraftingcorner.com. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And let me move this, and bye.